Hi creators, welcome back to Academic Phoenix Plus. My name is Monica and I'm your guide through spooky decorations. In this video tutorial, we're going to be celebrating Halloween with this spooky ghost. We're going to be using dynamics such as nCloth to create this effect. If you're new to this channel, I provide tutorials on a weekly basis. Software includes Maya, ZBrush, Substance Painter, and so much more. So if that is your sort of thing, please consider subscribing. So bring out that creativity, open up that software, and let's go ahead and get started in creating some spooky decorations to celebrate Halloween. Right, we're going to start off with a sphere, a very simple sphere. And I'm going to lift. And then we're also going to create a plane. Nothing too eccentric. Let's lift. Then over here in our channel box, we're going to go to our inputs, polyplane, and then we're going to crank these up. So I like to select these two, the words, and then middle mouse and drag. So it's pretty high. Ta-da! And then we're going to click these famous three buttons, center the pivot, delete the history, and freeze the transformation. So let's go ahead and do that to this one too. Click, click, click. All right. The magic happens under FX pull-down menu. So over here to the left, we have an FX. Let's grab that. And then we're going to go to our nCloth. Now I have my sphere selected. So I'm going to choose this as my passive. Then I'm going to select this one and create it as the cloth. And you're going to see that we now have a fancy little Newton here, which is our nucleus. And then we have magic. Now here comes the time. Over here at the bottom, you want to make sure that you go up to 1 and then drag this all the way to the left. So the simulation starts at 1. And then we do have to give ourselves more time. So go ahead and type this into 500. FYI, I'm using Maya 2026. And then I'm going to right click on my timeline, playback speed, and I want to choose play every frame max real time. So that means that it's going to still do the simulation of every single frame, but it's going to try to maximize real time versus if it's free, it just goes as fast as it can. But I really do want to stick to like 24 frames per second. Right, rewind, which is this button right here, hit play, and let's see the magic happen. Ooh, just like that. Now you'll notice that it slips. One of my favorite parts is to just watch it fall. Whee! And it will go on forever. But let's go ahead and stop and rewind and then play. Wow, what happened there? That's special. Talking about spooky. Oh, let me press play and see what happens. Okay, it goes back to normal. Then if I rewind. All right, I guess what? It's like baking. I gotta render this. Hold on. Arnold lights, physical sky, and then render. Yeah, it's creating like a normal map or something. How interesting. I don't know what button I pressed to do that, but that's fascinating. It is distracting though, but it goes away when I hit play. So let me double check that. Yeah, it does go away. And I'm going to rewind and it has a little normal map. What? We get spooky results. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and grab this sphere. We're going to open up the attributes and we are in the collision of the rigid shape. And what we want to do is increase our friction to about 100. And we also want to increase our stickiness. Let's go ahead and crank it up a bit to 2. And we're going to do the same thing for this one. We're going to grab the cloth. We're going to go find the shape, open up the collision. And same thing for this one. We're going to increase our friction to 100 and then go ahead and crank that up to 2. Rewind, press play, and then let's see what happens. So we're going to let it simulate. And the nice thing about this is that now it is going to still bounce a little bit and stuff like that. But at least now it's getting stuck to the sphere. And once it's done moving around, I'm going to hit stop. Stop. There we go. So it is bouncing a lot. So one of the things that I can do, and I'm going to rewind here, is do my presets. And we can pick something a little bit less sway. So for example, perhaps we want to choose something like t-shirt and then replace. So we're going to rewind, hit play, and let's see what type of results we get. It's a little slower, but the results are going to be a little bit different. Now, if you want to see what type of effect it has, it will tell you in the attribute editor. So it looks like it's stopped right there, which is good for me. I like it there. When we rewind, we want the animation to start there. All right, now that it's settled in, we're going to go to field solvers. We're going to go to initial state and then set from selected. Then we're going to rewind and you're going to see that it stayed. However, when I hit play, you're going to see that the dynamics continue on, which is exactly what I want. So why do I want to do this? Because I'm going to animate my sphere. So here we have my sphere. I'm going to select S And the thing about passives is that you can animate the passive bodies, but you can't animate the simulated body. The simulated bodies would be the cloth, and the sphere is passive, so I'll be able to animate that. So I'm going to go in and maybe move this up a little bit to the right, and then slowly move it to the left, and then see what results we get. So we're going to rewind, then hit play. And you can see that now it's like, ooh. Now it's a little slow, right? And the dynamics are working. So I'm going to make this go a little faster. Again, I'm going to rewind. And then I'm going to grab these keyframes. And the way to do that is if you hold down Shift, click and drag, you can grab that chunk of keyframes. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Drag these a little closer so that the animation's a little faster. So I'm going to rewind, hit play, and there it goes. All right, let's assign a new material. Right click, assign a new material. Let's go to Maya. We can use the new one, openPBR surface. Let's crank up that weight. And we do want a little bit of subsurface. So let's go ahead and bring that up a little bit. So we're going to get kind of like that look. And then I'm going to grab these planes. I'm going to go to the disk and just change it to 2. I don't need it to be that high poly. And rotate this 90 degrees. Let's go ahead and rewind. I'm going to snap it, V middle mouse and snap. And I want to add little eyes to my ghost. So duplicate, Control D. There we go. And do the same thing. Assign a new material. Gonna grab the openPBR and make this black. Increase the roughness. We do the same thing for this one as well. This cloth. openPBR. Oh, the roughness is already pretty high. And to attach this, we're going to select this, shift select that one, and then we're going to go to deform, and we're going to go to wrap. And what that does is that it wraps around the mesh and follows the mesh. You see? It's pretty fun. So let's do that to the other little eyeball. Move it over, select that one, shift select that one. Then we're going to go deform, wrap. And now we're going to rewind, hit play, and now we can watch it. Ooh, be scary, and also stretch with the cloth. It's kind of like a fun effect. And finally, let's go ahead and render. We're going to set our project, which I have not created one. So let's go to File, Project Window. Let's go to New. This is going to be your ghost. Place it somewhere you're going to find. So I have a project called 3D Projects. Accept. Let's go ahead and save this. We're going to go to our render settings up here at the top, which is the little clapper with the gear. Go ahead and click on that. And we do want to name it something. So maybe Ghost Dynamics. I want to choose something simple. You guys can choose a TIFF or a JPEG, whatever you like. I might go for a PNG, and that looks good. Also, we want to trigger the name number extension. I'm only going to need 3, and my animation stops around 200 frames. So at the start, it's 1 frame, and frame is 200. I'm going to use the perspective camera. All of that looks good. I'm not going to do anything too fancy. Let's go turn on the resolution gate so I can make sure I get my simulation. So I got it over here. And then it's going to go wee. And then to the side. And I'm going to zoom in a bit. Going to rewind again and make sure that it still fits into this camera. There it goes. Cool. All right, so after that, let's take a look at the render. The render is gonna look like that. What happened? So somewhere along the way, my shape of the cloth is working, but if you go to the tab called Output, you can see that everything got turned off, and I'm not really sure why. So I'm just gonna go ahead and turn all those on and double check Arnold and make sure all those on as well, and that should bring it back. So that was really strange. I'm really confused by all the interesting spooky things that are happening here, but let's go ahead and increase our roughness to 0.5. My subsurface, increase it a little bit more. So we've got some sort of translucency. I'm going to make this more into the blue, the deeper blues. So we have a little bit of an interesting result. I'm going to grab my dome here and scroll down to camera 0, and then I'm going to my openPBR and go to geometry and go to my bump mapping. Click on this. We're going to choose the cloth and the pattern. So let's type in 20 by 20 in the repeat UVs. You can see that we're getting that type of effect. And let's go ahead and go 50 by 50. And now it's starting to look more like burlap. Let's go a little more. 100 by 100, and you can see now we have kind of like this cloth material. I'm also going to give it a little bit of fuzz, which is going to help soften the edges a little bit. Increase the fuzz. Make sure this is white, and that's going to help. Well, you can keep playing with it to your heart's content, but now let's go ahead and save, and let's render. We're going to go to render sequence options, make sure everything looks good, and then render sequence and close. Now what's going to happen is that it's going to start to render and slow down my computer, so I'm going to go ahead and pause, but it is going to do the simulation, and then I will be right back to show you the rest. All right, we are done. Here are the images. Looks good. Let's go ahead and create a new project in After Effects. We're going to go to File, Import. Here it is. You're going to choose the 001 and make sure you have PNG sequence checked on. Otherwise, it's just going to import one image instead of making it into a animated sequence. Then I'm going to grab this and drag it into the timeline. And there is our ghost. You can hit play. And there it is. It's a little noisy. It's a little small. But that is how you can create a very simple animation using dynamics. Let's go to effects, and I am going to add a curves and drag it in, and then with this we can kind of brighten it up a little bit. I'm also going to throw in my Happy Halloween. It's a little large. Hit S for scale. Go ahead and scale it down and give it a little shake. You can open up the image effects and then choose Bad TV Warp. And then there you go. Let's go ahead and export. File, exports. Add to media encoder. Wait a minute so that it loads. Everything is good, including the high bit rate. We can click this, and I like to place it somewhere that I can find it. So there is a movies option. Here's my ghost dynamics from earlier. I'm going to say yes, then hit play. You can click on this to see it. There it is, and happy Halloween, everybody. Hopefully you learned a thing or two. If you did, please like and subscribe. That's your message to me, letting me know that you like this content and that you want to see more. Don't forget to share my videos if you are looking for someone that wants to create a spooky ghost animation, or just learn a little bit about nCloth. Please share my videos. I go over a lot of things in this video, including not only nCloth, such as passive. I also went over the warp and a little bit of shading, and of course rendering, and a little After Effects, a little bit of everything for a final look. So hopefully you liked it. Don't forget to take a look at academicphoenixplus.com. There you can find free videos, tutorials, and resources and ebooks just for you. So take a look at academicphoenixplus.com. Again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Happy Halloween, and I'll see you next time in the next video tutorial.